Good afternoon, I'm Ollie Howard with your Solent Sports News headlines. A footballer has been handed a prison sentence after being charged with assault. QPR starman Ilyas Chayer has been found guilty of breaking a truck driver's skull with a rock. The victim was taken to hospital in a critical condition. A court in Antwerp sentenced the 26-year-old to prison for a year with a further 12 months suspended. Chayer will still be available for the R's as he waits for his appeal. Chayer isn't the only footballer facing a prison sentence. Former Brazil and Barcelona star Dani Alves has been convicted of sexual assault after being found guilty of rape in a nightclub. Alves has been sentenced to 4.5 years in prison and has been ordered to pay €150,000 to the victim. His lawyers are set to appeal. And after falling to defeat to Hull on Tuesday evening, Southampton will have a chance to change their fortunes against Millwall tomorrow. We've got Byron Goodchild at St Mary's to preview the game.
I'm here outside St Mary's Stadium where Southampton play Millwall tomorrow at home. The Saints are coming off a 2-1 defeat to Hull City on Tuesday, where manager Russell Martin felt his team did not respond well enough to the goals they conceded in the first half. Millwall currently sit 21st in the league table, just 3 points off relegation, while Southampton still sit in 4th, 2 points off second place Leeds. While Millwall haven't won a game since the 1st of January this year, Southampton are wanting to take this game with all seriousness, as being too laid back could cause them to suffer their second defeat in a row.
And also, like, the guys we have to accept is a big scout for people, Southampton Football Club, with the players that we have in the building, and that's like without, I don't mean that in any disrespectful way, but teams are desperate to really go against the guys here because of the run we've been on, the form we've been on, and that's testament and credit to the guys, I think. So we have to step up to that. We really do.
The League Cup final this weekend, and the nerves and excitement will be creeping in for Chelsea and Liverpool fans. And joining me in the studio this afternoon is local sports journalist Liam Harding. Liam, an unbiased voice with us today. How do you see it panning out on Sunday?
Well, being unbiased, of course, Liverpool have the chance to make it double figures in the League Cup. No side has ever done that before, so it'll be an impressive feat on Sunday if they can win. Mohamed Salah is back in Liverpool squad after coming back only last week against Brentford, where he netted twice. He'll be their main talisman on Sunday because if he scores, he might just land them silverware, and he was also a part of their League Cup winning side in 2022.
Salah's back, but not everyone's back for Liverpool. Still a few injury worries. It would be an upset if Chelsea can be victorious, but can you see in a circumstance where that happens?
Yes, Chelsea might violate Liverpool. They might just find their way past Alisson, and Pochettino will be quite happy because obviously Chelsea have been struggling domestically this season. Even though they picked up a 1-1 draw against Manchester City on Sunday, they're definitely still in the foot of the table in a way. And if they don't win on Sunday, all the Chelsea fans will be singing Pochettino out, but let's not get carried away now.
Thanks very much, Liam. Kelleher in goal for Liverpool, as we should remember. But the Europa League draw has taken place with all three English clubs discovering their last 16 opponents. Liverpool's opposition were out of the hat first, as the Reds face Czech side Sparta Prague in 2 weeks' time. Brighton's first European knockout game is a glamorous tie against last year's finalists Roma, whilst West Ham will face Freiburg in March. In the Conference League draw, Aston Villa were handed the pick of the bunch. The Villains will face four-time European Cup champions Ajax in the last 16, who also tasted UEFA Cup glory in 1992. Villa are the bookies' favourites to win their first European trophy since the European Cup in 1982. Hampshire-based team Eastleigh recently appointed former Southampton goalkeeper Kelvin Davis as their new manager. Davis took control of his first game on Tuesday night and came away 5-2 winners against Oxford City. And I'm delighted to say I'm now joined by a member of Eastleigh's media team, Tom Goward. Tom, is this a positive appointment for the Spitfires?
Yeah, 100%. You know, they needed a change. They were looking for something different. You know, hadn't won since the 23rd of December. So, you know, they needed to freshen things up. And so, yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, that win against Oxford City was the first win, like you said, this year. Where did it go wrong for Richard Hill?
I think the system, I think some of the players weren't suited to maybe a five-back. You know, they had a good attacking options, Eastleigh, but weren't really using them because there's too many defensive players on the pitch. So hopefully now there's a new formation, new system, and you start bringing the likes of Paul McCallum in, you know, who's on fire this season, but using him even more, and the likes of Chris Maguire and stuff as well.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Tom. Solent University has many activities available to their students. One activity available is walking football, started by students in the football development course. Jamie Hale has more.
I'm Jamie Hale, and I'm at Solent University, on top of the pod, which has become synonymous with this uni. Today, I'm going to be discovering what walking football is and why it was even started in the first place.
So this is all part of our football practice in football development course, third year course optional, which you've all taken. We have to put together a session for people that don't really sort of get that much exercise. That's what we were aiming for. We were aiming for women and girls mainly, so we started off on a recreational, just women's program, and now we've gone to a walking football program which is mixed. However, we're trying to focus on staff and women.
So, Owen, what are the main benefits of starting walking football?
So walking football will sort of level out the playing field a bit more. There's not much ability towards needed in walking football, but you're still getting the exercise in, you're still getting steps in, still burning calories, and you're having fun playing football. It's still the same concept. You have to put the ball in the back of the net. Football development course, third year course.
So, has the walking football been a success, or has there been problems?
I think it's been a part success in a way. We've sort of had, we went from having one participant and no participants with the recreational women's football to now having 20 a week at minimum within walking football and open it up to mixed. So I definitely think we've had some success since we've progressed it.
Did Owen's co-helper and course mate Ollie agree?
We're very well. A lot in attendance, was surprising as we heard. Apparently it was coaching week, so some people might not have uni, but everyone still attended. Managed to get 4 teams together. I think it was around 20 people.
Wow.
So good competition.
Say your name and what you do. I don't know, like goalkeeper, Sam goalkeeper. I've been playing for this long.
Yeah, so my name's Lara. I'm a goalkeeper. I've been playing football since I was 8 years old. I was always into like futsal and regular football, and then they started doing walking football, and I was like, I'll give it a go and see how it is, and I really enjoyed it. Bit easier to say then, but it's still a bit tricky if you do like a really good power shot.
Another week of walking football completed, and if you are interested after watching this, why not get involved? This is for anyone and everyone, as they have said. So, if you find yourself free for an hour on Monday, why not come down? Jamie Hale, Solent Sports News.
England's rugby team have made a perfect start to their Six Nations campaign this year, but face their toughest challenge yet against an old foe tomorrow. Jack Bunclark reports.
England renew their rivalry with Scotland tomorrow in the 131st Calcutta Cup meeting in Edinburgh. England captain Jamie George has had a difficult and heartfelt lead up to the fixture with the passing of his mother, but urges he had to be involved in this game.
Like you say, it's been a tough couple of weeks, but what a great environment for me to come back into. The boys have welcomed me back and been there for me, but given me enough time and space. But this is a huge game this weekend. This is one that I'm desperate to be involved in, and we've got a huge amount of respect for Scotland and what they've done over the last few years, and the team that Gregor and Finn and Rory have sort of created here. And we know it's a huge test, and I love playing at Murrayfield, so it's nice to be back in Edinburgh.
Gregor Townsend Scotland have lifted the last 3 Calcutta Cups and have won it 5 of the last 6 years. The hooker describes what the usual feisty affair means to him and his family and their aims for England for the weekend.
I remember it sitting around as a family watching these games, the history that comes with it. But you probably don't realise how big it is until you actually feature in it. Our form over the last few years in terms of the Calcutta Cup probably hasn't been good enough. We know the record speaks for itself, and ultimately our goal is to come here and change that.
England last won this fixture in 2020 at Murrayfield with Ellis Genn's try, and George can't wait to play there again.
You do the drive around Murrayfield where the fair amount of abuse comes your way on the England team bus, and that that's something that you've got to embrace, you've got to love. We know that Edinburgh and Murrayfield create a huge amount of atmosphere around game days, and our form over the last few years in terms of the Calcutta Cup probably hasn't been good enough.
Solent University have their own all-weather 4G pitch for their sports teams to use. Test Park is home to most of Solent's Bucks teams, but surface isn't quite holding up right now. Games are being cancelled and the weather isn't even that bad. So what's going wrong? Rhys Barrett went down to test the waters at Test Park.
Test Park has great facilities. Rugby pitches, a Wessex standard pitch, floodlights, camera to watch the games. With a 4G, when it rains, it pours.
The name all-weather pitch doesn't seem to apply when it comes to the 4G here at Test Park. Recent wet weather has forced the university to cancel many sporting events that occur weekly on this ground, disappointing students in the process. Head groundskeeper Sam Naylor expressed his own frustrations.
Yeah, obviously the wet weather is not ideal for any groundsman really. It's, we had 4 or 5 games booked on for the Wessex pitch for this week, which is typical that it's picked the worst week for the weather, and I'm likely going to have to call most of those off. So it is frustrating. With the 3G, maybe an extra bit so, because you'd expect that to drain a bit better despite the weather. So it's always a pain to have to call those off, and especially let down students, because that's the main purpose they play on this pitch, is to try and not have the games called off and get as much sport in as possible.
The Solent football team is just one of many teams affected by the poor condition of this pitch, as well as those who participate in American football. First team men's football captain, Sam Pearce, highlighted how the pitch can also be an injury hazard for himself and others.
Yeah, very frustrating. I mean, for an all-weather pitch to not be able to handle rain doesn't really add up. I think it's 3 games called off now, so it's really frustrating. I mean, the surface isn't great either. I do twist my ankle, bend my knees the wrong way, all sorts happens on there. Just not a good pitch at all.
Unsure exactly why the pitch suffers so badly from the rain, Sam suspects there are myriad factors.
I don't know if it's the area in particular, because I know our main grass pitch also has some slight drainage issues, so I don't know if it's the layer that it's based upon. That's probably partly to do with it. It might be partly to do with the age of the pitch itself, being 12 or 13 years old.
With rumours of a new pitch being installed, many at the university, including Sam, are excited at the prospect.
A brand new one would be nice. I think the FA recommendation is they do get relayed sort of every 8 to 12 years based on maintenance. We have sort of reached that 12-year period.
With the rain showing no signs of letting up anytime soon, it looks likely a change is needed here at Test Park.
Russia's hopes of competing in Paris have been dismissed by the Court of Arbitration for Sports. The country has been banned from taking part after their full-scale invasion into Ukraine started in 2022. This means Russia are no longer allowed to participate. However, Russian athletes will still be allowed to compete, but as neutrals. Now, have you ever seen yourself as a bit of a Viking? Well, believe it or not, axe throwing is a growing sport that's new to Southampton. And I'm a bit worried to say that we can cross live to our reporter Jake Clements, who has an axe in his hands. Jake, what can you tell us?
Ollie, I don't know why you're concerned. It's perfectly safe. I've got it gripped firmly in 2 hands. Nobody's going to be losing any limbs or appendages. Everyone will be okay. I'm here at Black Axe Throwing Co. in Southampton, a place that's just about to celebrate its 1-year anniversary in 3 days' time. And if you come this way, Charlie, I'm joined by Mark, one of the workers here. So, Mark, I can see the board is quite badly damaged.
Yeah.
How good is business these days?
So business is doing quite well. We get very busy during Christmas time because people want to do their star parties here. Roughly around May time, I've been hearing that people are going to be doing their team bonding exercises, and like some people have chosen us. Saturdays, Sundays we get fairly busy. I mean, tomorrow we're literally fully booked, so there's that. And yeah, throughout the week we've always got a few people coming in every now and then. So yeah, business is doing quite well.
This just sounds like it's booming. Can you just give a quick description of what Black Axe Throwing is all about?
So Black Axe Throwing, basically, it's in the name. You come in for about an hour, you throw some axes. It's literally in the name. But yeah, no, we teach you about 4 or 5 different ways of throwing an axe. It's crazy that there's that amount, but yeah, there's loads of different ways you can throw. Yeah, so we teach you for about an hour to an hour and a half, and then we do a little competition. And the winner actually gets to throw this axe.
It's Thor's axe, wow.
It's quite heavy though. So yeah, it's a big challenge for people.
Speaking of competitions, do you want a 1v1, 1 axe each, closest to the ball?
Yeah, can do.
Byron, you have to hold the one with the mic on. I can't throw that one. should be counted. I can't hold two in, so can I? You ready then?
Yeah, by all means.
You work here, you go first. I go first? Okay, you hold that.
We'll call it beginner's luck. Oh, you got it on the board.
It's on the board. Well, on that bombshell, back to you in the studio.
Cool, I'm not sure if I trust myself with something like that, but that's all from us today. But remember, you can keep up to date on our website, solentsportsnews.com. Bye-bye.